Good Friday morning, Larry Sprinkle. I'm with Brittany Van Voorhees. It's time for Wake Up Charlotte to go, and a lot going on this weekend.
I mean, there's no shortage of things. It's Earth Day.
Yeah, Earth Day, and then weather-wise, a lot of people wonder about that. We always like to start off on our Fridays with a great view that we have. Every single camera that's shot, it is a clear sky day. Not often that you see all cameras with not a cloud in the sky. Not even a little puffy cumulus there anywhere. So, great view right
nice.
there. It was very nice. Weather-wise today, we did hit 85 yesterday. Really another duplicate today, warming up way above the average. I don't think too many people complain about this. We'll at least be in the low 80s, about 83 degrees around 5 o'clock. Whole different situation tomorrow. We got in the forecast rain, even a couple of pop-up thunderstorms. You're on the air tomorrow morning, start about 6 a.m., so be aware, right?
Yeah, I actually think that as early as, I'm sure you've been talking about this morning. I mean, I have obviously been here listening to you. You have been. A lot of that will be north of Charlotte, it seems like early, so up toward the I-40 corridor especially, but then by the second half of the morning, early afternoon, you see that there on your graphic. That's kind of when we see the better window for the Piedmont.
It's going to be cooler with upper 60s and low 70s out there tomorrow. Today, the severe threat is in the Ohio Valley, but tomorrow, here we go. That area of yellow, that's mainly east of Interstate 77, but it does include a lot of the Charlotte metro area that we do see kind of that low-end category. There could be a couple strong thunderstorms, but you got travel plans from Southern Pines to Rockingham to the Carolina coastline. I think a better chance they could see some strong storms over there.
Yeah, and I'm noticing too, because I worked last night for Brad for the 4, 5, and 6 because he had his event at lower left, but this has shifted west, which is of note. A little bit, compared to yesterday, which I think is probably because of the timing of the front. Looks like it's a little bit later on. So we know that more daytime heating, a little bit more sunshine oftentimes leads to a little bit more instability.
Like they have down the Gulf Coast today. We'll take a look at Futurecast. This takes us through the morning hours. Clouds move out, move in the area. Then as we get later in the day, that chance of a storm chance and rain chance increases. We've got travel plans to the mountains tomorrow morning. Early on, that's where some of the heavy rain is going to be tomorrow morning. Mountains all the way down into the upstate of South Carolina. You can see Brittany was saying it north of here. That's really definitely, as you get to about that 8 o'clock hour, Statesville, up along the I-40 corridor, right? Some showers up there. Yeah,
and then later on, it looks like late morning or into the early afternoon. Pretty much the same time we're going to be in Gaston County. That looks to be kind of the bullseye there for storms to start to pop off.
It would be something that we're right there at 10 a.m. and
you
then
might
here
see
comes
us doing a live stream
right.
from Gaston County, from the Shield Museum.
And then it shifts off more to the east as we get later in the day. Could be some strong storms anywhere from, say, Chesterfield County all the way up to Wake County around the Raleigh-Durham area. Then things shift to the Carolina coastline. Things clear out overnight. This is not going to be one of those situations with a flood threat. And it's all over across the board as far as the potential for rainfall. Maybe up to ½ an inch in some areas. What do you think?
Yeah, and we don't need a lot of rain at this point. I mean, our drought conditions have gotten much, much better with all the rain that we had just a few weeks ago. I do think that folks, especially who were hoping for a good game time weather, for Charlotte FC, since kickoffs at 7:30, are happy, of course, about the earlier opportunity for rain. Maybe not so much, right, if you were you might have to encounter some rain to head over to the Shield Museum. But, hey, at least it's not going to rain all day. It won't be a wedge situation. What was that, 2 Saturdays ago?
Yeah.
Where it was just gross all day.
And for the weekend, if you're talking about the best day of the weekend, it's going to start chilly in the morning, but a nice afternoon, 69 degrees. Looking at this, it looks like, is there an anomaly here in this 7-day forecast? Wednesday's not cooperating and not participating in this. We go from a low tomorrow morning of 62 to a high next Wednesday of right around 60 degrees.
That I was surprised by, and even Monday morning, it looks like that's going to be kind of the morning that we're also, probably not here in Charlotte, but talking about some northern communities, seeing the chance for some patchy frost.
Yes,
possibly.
It's that time of the year. But one thing I always look at it this way: that if we see a couple days where it's really chilly, don't complain, because I guarantee you, middle of July and August, you're going to look back and go, remember how nice it was back in late April?
100%. And later, I know I've told you this many times, off doing this, but I grew up in Atlanta. We have really similar weather to here, in Charlotte. You have been the Carolinas, forever. And this weather, to me, like this area has the best weather. Yes, it gets hot as in the summer, but we get some of these nicer months, and so we really have to enjoy the slightly cooler weather even then. And think about this year. It's the first time ever Charlotte didn't have, measurable snow. We've talked about this. A trace I feel like it shouldn't count, but regardless. First time we've ever not seen measurable snow, and our winters really aren't that severe either. So I think this is a great place to be. At least it's not 95 and humid like it is in South
next
Florida.
week it's going to be way below average. We don't get much above the mid-60s by next Thursday. Well, tomorrow is Earth Day, and you know, it's going to be a great day for you if you come to the Shield Museum, because we're all going to be out there. The whole weather team, we don't have a chance to be together that much because of our schedules, but we'll be out there tomorrow, so we'll have to talk about Earth Day.
Yeah, so 10 to 4 is their Earth Day event at the Shield Museum. We'll be there from 10 when they open until noon. But in honor of Earth Day and my love for all things sustainable and eco-friendly, I did put together this story on kind of some tips on how you can make your spring cleaning, if that was a plan for this weekend, a little bit more eco-friendly.
Okay, let's do it.
As the weather turns warmer, people normally get the itch to begin their spring cleaning. To make your process more eco-friendly, Jeremy Walters, Sustainability Ambassador with Republic Services, says remember the 3 R's: reduce, reuse, recycle. Let's break those down. Reduce. You don't always have to buy things like cleaning products. You can purchase reusable bottles and concentrated blocks of water-soluble cleaning products and make your own. You can also make your own products at home with natural ingredients like lemon, vinegar, and salt scrubs.
These different items that you can get creative with in terms of cutting down your waste are great alternatives. Understanding that price can play a role into that.
Reuse. Reuse things like old t-shirts, towels, and blankets as rags for cleaning. You can also donate these to local animal shelters.
And they can cut them up and they can use them for rags as they clean as well. So you can definitely think outside of the box.
Recycle. Cleaning products need a little extra love when recycling properly. Remember to clean, empty, and dry the bottles. Some cleaning products can have the caps recycled too, but things like a spray nozzle cannot.
It is plastic on the outside, but then there's springs that are helping this trigger function work, sometimes little rubber tubes in there. So you actually need to take this off and dispose of this.
Also, I wanted to take this time to review the most common recycling mishap: putting your recycles in a plastic bag and throwing it in the bin. These bags cannot be recycled. They gum up the machine, so if you do this, your entire bag of recyclables is going to get thrown away. This is frustrating, and it leads to more going into our landfills. So if you use a plastic bag to collect your cans, like all my Diet Coke cans, make sure you empty it into the bin, then reuse this bag for something else. Return it to a store that accepts them, or even better, turn to a reusable shopping bag or a paper option. For WCNC Charlotte, I'm meteorologist Brittany Van Voorhees. Did you like that
Great
product
information.
placement?
Yeah.
The product placement of the market too, with our logo on it.
No, why not?
I always joke, like when I go to Publix and stuff, that I better not like accidentally put something in there, since I always use my WCNC Charlotte tote. It's like putting the logo up and like this.
Serious trouble for that. But,
I would never.
Earth Day is something to think about, and there was a period of time, going back maybe a few years ago, where we didn't get back on the subject of Earth Day and how important it is. Now it's back again in the forefront, because it really is something we all can think about and just do our best. You know, every little bit. If we could all participate together, you know, it's not that difficult.
Yeah.
Especially like recycling, it's very easy.
Very easy. And, you know, I get a lot of, I wouldn't say pushback, but, you know, some of my friends, you know, sometimes will be like, but why is like recycling, you know, my boxes or whatever, they're like, it doesn't do anything. But it does, because more stuff goes into the recycling centers, you know, and gets reused, but also that means less landfill trash. And, you know, we talked about a few weeks ago with my climate change story, you know, and methane, you know, less landfills means less methane release into the atmosphere. We have better, you know, breathing air.
It really is a domino effect.
Just like that little it all goes back and forth. Also, before we go, even though he doesn't have Facebook, I know my grandma will show him this. Tomorrow's also my grandpa's 86th birthday. He was born on Earth Day.
Grandpa?
But before Earth Day was a thing, you know, because it's only been since 1970. So my favorite thing to always say to him is, "You're older than dirt." So, gotta get that little special.
And what does he say back?
He says something I can't repeat.
One day, he's saying one day you'll be there.
Yeah,
one day.
exactly.
Well, anyway, that's it for Wake Up Charlotte to go. Hope you have a great weekend, and we'll be back Monday, and Brittany will be here tomorrow morning about 6 a.m., right?
Yeah, and we hope to see you at the Shield Museum at 10.
Yeah, 10 a.m. I think I'm going to be a little bit late, but somewhere between 10 and 9, yeah.
I'll be there at 9, actually, but they won't open until 10. So.
Okay.
Yeah, we're doing the show live at 9 o'clock from there.
Yeah. See you.